Yes, hello. Great to see you once again. Welcome back to the Kenya Times. It's always a pleasure joining you in these conversations that not only shapes our governance system, but also the political landscape. And to help me unpack this conversation today is none other than Dr. Peter Mbae. Mbae was the former head of government delivery service, as well as the governance and leadership expert. He's right here in studio. We are going to discuss so much with him. And remember to follow us throughout this conversation until the end. I'm your host, Nixon Njau. Dr. Peter Mbae, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Welcome to the Kenya Times.
Very good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yes.
We have now you have almost like 8 to 9 months since you resigned from the government as the head of, government delivery service. How has been life outside government and why did you resign?
Yeah, thank you so much. Life has been good. What happened is that we were part of the team. And I always say that since 2018, operating from Nakuru, we were part of the team that actually moved on with the current president in the issues on the opposition. After he fell out with the President Uhuru Kenyatta, we believed in him and we supported him all the way. And finally, we were part of government because we wanted to deliver, right? The whole idea was we knew people were getting very impatient. So we came in as a team. I was appointed as a head of ministerial delivery unit in the Ministry of Trade, Investments and Industry. We worked out everything, issues on trade, issues on investments and industry. We opened markets. At some time, we invited over 5 ministers of trade from Africa to Kenya just to strengthen the market. Remember, East Africa has about 1,250,000 to 300 people. We wanted to expand the market to cover Africa, about 2.5 billion people, right? Bring together EAC, bring together ECOWAS, SADC, and North Africa countries. Remember AFCFTA, where now EFC, you sign treaties across all COMESA, SADC to make one treaty so that people can move. The number 2, investments. There's a report that came out, was it early this year, that said that the foreign direct investment that came to Kenya, Kenya was the leading in Africa. We were able to beat South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt. That is what we did when we were there. And of course, industrialization. Everybody knows what our dream of making sure there's an industry in each county. So that counties can begin working on productivity. Right now, they are cost centers. They're just eating. We wanted them to begin producing. Value addition, cold storage for their products to avoid post-harvest losses. And we did all that. Of course, we went to public service. Again, I was head of ministerial programs. Why was I appointed? Because people knew who I am. I am an expert on delivery. Later away in my public service, later away when I was a member of the public service board in Nakuru County, then I became a member of the county assembly in Kabazi. Why did I move from being a member of the county public service board? Yes. I left all that to become an MC. Why? Because I'm a believer in devolution. I'm a leader. I studied politics and government. I wanted to test it. I wanted to be practical so that it's not just books. So I decided to go down. People asking me, with a PhD, how? Where did we see a PhD becoming an MC? But I said, why not? This is where I started. These are the mothers who sold chicken for me to study. Why do I become international? Why don't I first help the village? Not that I will not become international, but let me help the village. That is why I went. That was my motive to go back to Kabazi as an MCA. But you know what happened? 5 years later, I was voted the best performing MCA in Kenya. Wow. It's there for record. Nice. You see? Why? Now, that's what I did. So when I joined national government, it was delivery, nothing else. For me, not the salary. Otherwise, I would not have left a big job to go for somewhere where there's no money. If it was about money, it was about delivery. Remember, the people had a lot of promises and all that. So when we worked after public service, I was appointed head of government delivery service. Now listen, by the time you are appointed by public service commission,
that is 2024.
2024, yeah. By the time you are appointed Nixon, you have gone through a lot of vetting. Public Service Commission is an independent commission. True. They appoint you because they think they will not be embarrassed. They went through, look at my papers. They looked at what I have done previously.
Your experience.
I was appointed and we began working. And I said, okay, fine, here I am. This is how we are going to work. A, B, C, D. We have to agree. Tell Kenyans, what are we delivering? You cannot be talking about delivery. And the people, your clients don't know what we are delivering. So we went to every state department. Told them, look, all what you are doing, like this, we don't know. We are not sure. Kenyans are not sure. Tell us what you have been doing. 52 state departments. We sat with them every day. Tell us what you have been doing. We told them, can we agree, instead of all these 20 things, to take 3. We put money in the 3, then we move this country. We did all that. We presented the report to the president. And we said, can we move? Then I said, if it's agreeable, we want every PS to sign. Every CS to sign against the targets.
From every minister?
Yes, to sign. When you sign, give it to me. Once you give it to me as the head of government, I'll go publish it in the newspapers and in the media, so that the people can know what you want to do as government. There's no magic here or anything. So that people can know. And then I wanted to propose a system. You know, you cannot corrupt a system. Pull the projects. And the county. Every minister here and every county. So that people can begin telling us whether they can see progress. The moment I did that, guys were like, you know, this is too much. You know, whoever that did this, whatever, you know.
You're overdoing.
I'm overdoing. And then, you remember it was a time when some ministers were kicked out from Mount Kenya region. Then I was left there alone. The deputy president he was going down.
Was impeached.
And then the atmosphere changed there. You know, I was accused of beginning to smell like them. You know, you also smelling like them. You came with them, and you know, frustrations happened a lot.
They saw you as a mole.
They began seeing me like I was one of them who went. I should also go. In any case, I came with them, right? And so they began frustrating me, humiliating. And I told myself, wait a minute, guys. I had a choice to remain there with my, on my feet every day, on my knees, say, pleading for mercy, right? But I said, one, I don't want to be associated with failure, because I could see I'm a political scientist. I know that if you don't do this, equals to that. So I could see trouble if it didn't deliver. So I said, I don't want to be associated, because one day somebody will ask me in 27, but Mbae, you have been there. You should have told us there was a problem. And that's exactly what I did. So I quit, one, because of frustrations. And number two, very quickly, because of you cannot mess what we intend to do, the delivery, the listening to the advisors and all that was not there. But number two, Nixon, when you mess up the political equation, delivery is so sensitive to political upheavals. You can't do any development in a toxic political environment. So instead of focusing on work, we began upsetting the political equation. And that to me was it. So one, there's no intention to work. But number two, upsetting the political equation. And finally, I was like, whatever we promised will never happen. So that's it. So after that, of course, I moved. You have asked me what I've been doing. I moved to the opposition. I went to meet Rigathi Gachagua. I told them, men, I have tried also my best. It's not going to work. So let's build something fresh. And I was appointed NEC member, Secretary for Planning and Economic Affairs in DCP. Right now, I was very keen to deliver the plan. Right now, I'm delivering one term. Yeah, it's just about switching and knowing what to do, because there's no other we could have done. The best way in life, Nixon, if you promise people something like the way you promise people about the plan in Kenya Kwanza, if you find it's not working, you try and it's not working, the most pragmatic thing to do is to go back and own up and say, guys, I tried. Go on up and join the people to create a plan B. You don't go say, it is not working, but you give us some time. I'm still here. So I said, let me be a good guy, an honest guy. Let me go out there and tell, guys, we tried. But they are now trying to, what you call victimize Rigathi Gachagua there, kick him out, victimize him, finish him. So I said, let's all come back. He's not about him. It's about the people. Delivery of the plan, the failure of the delivery of the plan, then messing up politically. So here I am focused on one term. The way I was focused, my energy, my passion and focus remains the same. I do one thing at a time, Nixon, and I'm normally very focused. I take one course to the end, and that's what I'm doing now. One, to hold on to help my people in Nakuru, to galvanize them, to give them hope. Because right now, the biggest product we are selling is hope. Nixon, the biggest product we are selling right now is hope. That's what I'm doing right now, selling hope. Half time I'm here in Nairobi, talking to the nation, working as a secretary for DCP, in terms of planning and helping the boss to do the work. Half of my time in the week, I'm spending on the ground, trying to put together the people of Nakuru.
So what you're saying is that after the impeachment of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, you started to be mistreated.
In a very big way. Before, actually. The moment signals were started, there was a lot of issues that happened.
Okay, we'll talk on that. We'll come to that later. But now we have 3 years after President Ruto took over the power and to lead this country. And we have seen a lot of things happening. How do you rate this government in 3 years now?
I'll tell you this. Let me say this in a nutshell. Nixon, delivery and development has some specific, what I would call basics. If you miss them, nothing's going to happen. I'll tell you this, and I'm saying this with a lot of authority as an expert on delivery, having done what I've done. It can be documented, it's there to be seen. Nixon, delivery of anything has to have some systems, processes, and procedures. You can't just say, I'll deliver, and then there is no mechanism put in. Now, my work as a technical person on delivery was to put systems and say, therefore, delivery will happen. Now, I'll tell you this, nothing much is going to happen.
Really?
Nothing much is going to happen. Whatever you see crossed like development and delivery is just ping pong, pong. There's nothing structured.
But we see the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki, every day on an empowerment forums, stating that they are empowering youths, as well as the President. We see him every day in events, in development.
If you want to know, any government in the world comes to place to do 3 things, basic things, okay? I'm a student of leadership and government. 1, health. 2, education. 3, security. Let's stop there. 3 things. Now, if you want to know any government in the world, how it is doing, check the 3 things. Health is another story altogether. We don't even to go there because they can take 2 hours. It's corrupt completely. You can't say, you kill NHF, you give it a bad name. You know, if you want to kill a dog, you say it's begin eating eggs in the compound.
Yes.
So you kill NHF, you bring SHA, which is supposed to stem corruption. It cannot detect the corruption. Then what are you telling us? Me, what I say, number 1, we're going very, very fast. Guys come, the Blue Boys, there were people who are eating NHF. It's not Leonel Wajiko. No. It's not the middle class. No. It's not the upper middle class. Those are the Airites. They are the ones who knew how to manipulate the system. But because a new government has come, and you cannot go to infiltrate NHF to eat, you have to create your own thing to eat from. That's why people had to move and create companies eating all over the place. Of course, we were told there will be some agents who are supposed to be given some money and all that. All those are stories. Number 2, education system. No, our kids don't know whether they're in grade 2, grade 4, senior, junior, or in the middle. You cannot mess education. Look at health. Look at high. Teachers are crying every day. Look at us. Can you imagine? All of us went through professors. They can't get even a basic salary of 200,000. A professor who have done like 20 years, a basic salary is 300,000. Now, people are running away. I would think twice or thrice before even I think of going to study. Yet I have things I can tell other students. But we are mistreating dons and all that. Security, let's not even go there. Look at the killings and abductions and all that. So, I can tell you this. When now you go talking about empowerment, when the current president was a DP, empowerment was a very good story because he was a victim. He had been pressurized by the former president. He was all over. He was playing the victim. So when he called people there and he was giving people wheelbarrows, dancing around, people are saying, if this guy can do this, when he becomes president, people are going to have money flowing in his pockets. He could go to church, rehearse a song at night, rehearse the names of the roads.
Even Harambes.
You know, Harambes, a lot of them in churches, organize tournaments, go and meet women groups. It was then as an aspirant. You cannot do the same things as an aspirant and begin to do them 3 years later as a president or somebody who is elected. It cannot work. Nixon, you cannot use old witchcraft currently. If it worked then, thank God for your witchcraft. But you cannot repeat witchcraft. So he is trying to repeat what he did then. You can see, it's coming up saying, now remember, we were all hosted at Karen. Many groups, MCAs, groupings. You can't repeat the same now in State House. You must bring tangible things. You cannot work for 3 years. You have nothing tangible to show, and then now you are going back to campaign mood when you have been the president for 3 years. And that's why I told you, if there was something on the table, people, you don't have to tell people. By the way, let me tell you, Nixon, you don't have to say what you have done. You don't have to. People see what you are doing.
Needs to show itself.
People need to see what you are doing. You don't have to proclaim. You don't have to buy acres or pages to say what you have done. So now we are back to pre-election period for somebody who has been president for 3 years. I can tell you it will not work. And let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. When you come begin promise people, giving people sewing machines and all that, can you put money, can you stabilize the economy? Somebody to go and decide whether they want a sewing machine, they go and get it. Look at what Kibaki did.
Stabilize, they buy for themselves?
That stabilize the economy, okay? What happened? People would come, banks would come and beg you to take money unsecured during Kibaki times. Now let me tell you, when you go and give 10,000 people sewing machines or 2,000, the ones I saw there, I think there were 1,000. What about the other millions of people who need sewing machines? Why don't you put the economy in such a way that anybody who wants to own a vehicle, a matatu, a car wash machine, and all that, they'll be able to do it. We don't want politics or development of tokenism. People want sustainable development. What I can tell you today, where we are, unfortunately, we are on autopilot again. What we were accusing the former governments doing. We have no idea. We are running. Do I need votes in Nyanza? 70 billion goes to Nyanza because of votes. Not because of development. No. Do we need X amount of money? Like now, Mount Kenya, it is suffering badly because the president knows it is gone politically. So, and that's what we are avoiding. Development should be this way. Whether or not issues on politics, people should be able to get development. But now it has been personalized. Do we need to Mijikenda? Let's rush to Kilifi. Put some projects there of water. It is one-man show. It's no longer government advertising. If there are people I feel for, is the civil servants. We have the best in the world. Let me repeat it again because I was the head of government delivery. So I know how I interacted with them. The civil service in Kenya is the best. Actually, I'll tell you this. We have thousands of people, high, serious people, who are working for other presidents. Namibia, Botswana, advising them on agriculture, on everything, on finance. People from Kenya here, whom we have met, because we have the best. But what has happened in Kenya, a civil service, your work is to advise. Prepare documents, give it to your senior. We have, right now, below the PS, there's secretary for each state department, okay? You are supposed to be like the deputy for the PS. You are the one who holds all these other technical people. You prepare the report, you give it to the PS. PS will go give it to the CS. Then they go to State House. What goes on is what is approved by whoever. The team that wants to be, the other die, and that's the end of the story. So I'm sorry, at 3 years, I don't have a lot of good news to Kenyans because they departed from the systematic way that delivery was supposed to be in this country. Every sector, we had very good plans on what's supposed to be done. Right now, everything focus is on politics, is on how people are going to get back to politics, and that is now the problem with the people that we are having.
But we see the president talking another language, saying, you know what, I'm not doing this, I'm not taking project to Nyanza because of politics. I'm doing it to ensure that we have balanced the regions. This place has been getting a lot of development for years. Now let's take to Nyanza, let's take to other parts.
First of all, that's a long argument because what happens, there is supposed to be what he should be telling us. This is how I have distributed projects. Remember what I told you? That was our plan. Come and indicate each ministry what is it doing in every county. That is the balanced way. But you cannot be the one deciding. Kenyans no longer want one-man syndrome. You cannot be the one deciding which projects to go where. It's not going to be possible. Then if that is true, what happened to Mama roads? I mean, they have been there for all that time. It was promised. Work had started. All these have stalled. That's not right. We cannot work like that. You know, that's not good. That's not proper.
And just on that, Dr. Mbae, yesterday we saw the High Court, trying to. It issued a conservatory order, suspending the functioning of the panel of the experts on compensation of the victims who, were killed and during the protest. So do you think the government was going on the right path to ensure that we have a panel that will compensate the victims of the protest and demonstration?
Let me tell you, that issue talks to the bigger issue quickly of the issue of a constitution. Now, remember we had the celebration the other day. So what happens? We have people in government today who don't believe in this constitution. They actually want to learn Kenya using the old constitution. So to them, this constitution is a hindrance. If they can be asked, it should be repealed overnight. So let me give you an example. You have a constitution. Instead of following the constitution, you every day what you do is to try to circumvent the constitution and even try to kill it. Let me give you an example. The issue of separation of powers. As a head of executive, you should be able to promote separation of powers. But you cannot go emasculate one arm of government called legislature, literally capture them, put them on a pinhole that they cannot do anything independent, and it's all over the place. Then by there, of course, at some point, when you see they are becoming too much, but because when you start somewhere corruption and begin showing people they can get money easily to impeach Gachagua, 100,000, 200,000 every weekend for empowerment, definitely they grow horns and they want more. And every time the reports are coming from executive, they are very bad reports of privilege and waste. They ask for money. They see a report from Auditor General, they call the CS, come with money. Then it gets too much, the report gets back, then you come crying and you attack the same people. It is you who promoted corruption. So let me come to this now. Let me tell you, I'll give you two examples. You remember the Maraga Police Reforms Task Force?
Yes.
That is the work of National Police Service. So people went to court, said it's unconstitutional, it was scrapped, right? So look at the pattern. Duare went and formed a task force to look at the pending bills of NHIF. People went to court, said that's not the work of Maraga. Auditor General, that's the work of Auditor General. Now, the president goes ahead, puts this team, let's start with this thing of corruption. Corruption work is the work of EACC. What we should be doing is to strengthen EACC, to have some more powers. Okay? Either if you can, because the constitution is clear, it's only the ODPP who can prefer charges. But can we strengthen EACC? But what are we doing? We are trying to scrap the chairmanship by saying he has to be a magistrate, so that we can remove Bishop Oginde. And that is the card. You watch this space. What's likely to happen next? Next is that members of parliament, because it's an act of parliament, they are going to appeal to amend, to remove the way they removed PLO Lumumba, if you remember. So let's come now to the issue of our panel. So we're asking ourselves, you cannot be the one killing people. Then you want to learn ahead. You kill here, you want to rush there and say, by the way, I'm the one to compete. Who can trust you? Number two, that's not your work again. Why do we have somebody who wants to put all powers around them? We have someone who is like one man. It's me. Everything has to rotate around me. Those are the tendencies that create dictators. And that is the tendency, unfortunately, that we following the footsteps of neighboring countries, where you go creating a one-man person to show you guys don't have minds. I'm the only one who can think on your behalf. So the same way, corruption, it went that way. That one is dead on arrival. The issue of compensation is dead on arrival. About the next elections, it's about, giving people money. But do you know what? Last time, we had a such scenario where the former president and Raila Odinga had all the money. They had tear gas, they had police, they had all those kind of things, and the water cannons, red, green, and all that. Although I hear red is an invention that has come for this time. So, but the people didn't require the money to vote for Ruto. We didn't require money. It was overwhelming. But so far, the amount of money that has been spent on Mount Kenya alone, you'll be shocked. One, on the trip, 10 million per constituency. His trip, the one he went around. 1 billion for empowerment. And money is still being, now, the money has switched. The program has switched. You have noted, before it was empowerment there, now it's coming to State House. The bill has increased. Then it was 2,000. Now it is 10,000 per person. Look at all that money. Now, that's why you have money. People go to State House, they eat there. Because remember what happened when the president was the deputy president, because we used to frequent Karen, at some point the money was frozen. His budgets for hospitality was cut. At the time we went and we were only taking tea and water, there was no food, I remember him one day complaining, hapa unajua kuna pesa imekatwa yote, hata ya chakula na nini. So I think now he said, the moment I become president, I'll activate what I didn't get when I was a DP. You cannot sustain people, Nixon, by food of your stomach and money. Create the economy. You are elected to make sure anybody who doesn't know State House, can be able to enjoy something in Lamu, in Mwatate, okay, in Western, yeah, in Northeastern, somewhere in Isiolo, in Muranga, in my home village of Dabibi, in Naivasha. That is what you are supposed to do as a leader. So what happened? We have lost the trajectory of what governance is. Many people who are leading this country have been politicians for the last 30 years. They are not schooled in the art of governance. There's a problem, there's a difference between politics, leadership, and governance. Politics is politics. It's what you use to gain power.
To gain power.
The moment you get power, you go to a very high level of leadership and governance. It's a very complicated line. If you don't have experience, you can't make it. Now, Plato taught this way, that leadership is a virtue that God gives to very few men. Now, he taught this way, Plato, and I'm talking about now the people who studied the art of politics in Athens, Greece, that there was a process that was taken for somebody to qualify to lead. Now, what we have in Kenya, we mix up politics with governance. It cannot work. That's why somebody is really struggling. You know the way you do politics, PR, you know, you go talk to people, like, no, you know, go sing with them, dance with them. When you become in governance, you have to follow processes and procedures. You have to take advice. You have to take advice from the technical people. Let them tell you, because they have been there for 20 years. Then you come and say, suppose we go this way. They'll tell you, no, we can do this way. It's okay, we hear you, but we go through this procedure. That is one thing we have to teach our people. Now, unfortunately, we are confusing our students of politics and government in a big way. They don't know where to start and where to go. So that is the whole issue. And please, Nixon, take it for me. I know what I am saying. Because I have practical examples, I have been there. The problem is that we are not schooled in the art of governing a country. We are still learning politics 3 years later. Where you think you can call people to start us, give them money. The same thing you used to do when you are an aspiring president.
And what is the solution for this? Because it's been there. It is like a culture.
Nixon, I will tell you this, and I will repeat. We have somebody at least. I'm not saying he was an angel. Look at what Kibaki did. No, let's go back a bit. Because, I mean, we are in this country. We have the first president, second president, third president, fourth president. We have the fifth now. What Kibaki did, number one, I would give you some comparisons. He was never afraid. He never wanted to show off his education or lack of it. He was comfortable. Kibaki was comfortable. He didn't want to show off. Kibaki didn't need his money, his picture to be on the portraits. Kibaki didn't need the highway to be named after him. He was comfortable. He was mature. The guy knew he was comfortable in his skin. He didn't have to show people how he went to the school ladder of economics and how he studied at Makerere, right? And by the way, Nixon, the moment I come here and I want to begin showing anybody in this room how educated I am and splashing my PhD, most likely I'm not learned.
True.
I may be having something called Dr. Mbae PhD. That is not the aim of education. The aim of education is to make you humble. Let me tell you that today. The aim, the basic motive of education, if education cannot make you humble, then you are not learned. You may be educated, but you're not learned. And I can tell you this, education and learning is not the paper we get at the University of Nairobi when we graduate. No, it is what we have gotten inside. That is what will shout more. So if you want your papers to shout more, most likely you missed the most important thing. And I want that to go on record. We are very embarrassed. Some of us who went to school and studied and got PhDs, we are very embarrassed when somebody has to go saying that we are the first we are the first president in Kenya to have a PhD. We are very embarrassed because people shouldn't say, wow, by the way, do you know this guy has a PhD? After you do what you have done. I went as an MCA with a PhD. I never told anybody one day. Actually, I never made a joke.
You had already obtained your PhD?
Yes, I got it immediately. I was sworn in. I never even attempted one day to tell those socials to call me doctor, because actually they thought somebody would go and say let's welcome Dr. Mbae without telling them which doctor I am. Then they know medical doctors and veterinary. They are more popular in the village. So I couldn't go begin telling them to call me doctor for what. But finally they said they know what I did. Today I digress. So let me come back here. Because this is what I was saying. The problem we have, you're asking a question, what do we do? Let me tell you this.
What's the solution?
Let me tell you this. Seated here today, I'm in a position where I know the past a bit. I know the present. I have an idea of the future because we do analysis. So we're in a situation, let me quickly give you where we are, the problem we have in. We have a situation whereby we trusted and said, this one can work. In the middle, we realized that nothing, the personality is a problem. The manner of working is a problem. Ministers and PSs literally have to keep watching the phone calls because they are not independent. They can't do something on their own without going to get a nod. I know, because I was an advisor to a CS. Okay, and I know what we went through. You know, there is a lot of problems. So, but then, instead of admitting or trying to do anything else, you begin narratives. You know, sometimes when you are cornered, you know, Nixon in life, you begin saying, wow, here, I'm cornered. You begin going around the country talking about tribalism. Let me tell you, Nixon, in this era, look, listen to the clip of Mwalimu Nyerere. You are still talking about tribalism. And people here don't know about tribalism here. But it is the leaders who want to remind people that you are tribal, that you belong to different tribes. And then you go talking about tribalism. Yet you know it's a narrative created by yourself. Nixon, you cannot have Mount Kenya people who voted for you and you are not a Kikuyu. 47%. Then you come to that. Then you go around talking about that. So my point is, where we are, I don't see any hope in terms of going forward. We are stuck on the economy, public debts. We are stuck on education. We are stuck on health. I can tell you that. Because the moment yourself, instead of being here, then you are able to tell people that system people are saying is not working. Education system is not working. You are also part of it. Your footprints and your relatives and your people can be seen there. I don't see any hope. That's where, Nixon, we are telling people, right now, be happy you are alive. If God gives us breath, be of good health. Try to see whatever you are able to do economically, sell whatever you are able to do. Like these people are surviving is very difficult economically. Move on like that. Let us help to organize this country very well and be very sure, because we don't want half terms, be very sure that's why we are talking about one term. Exactly because of where we are, Nixon. There's not going to be any change. I can't see anything right now because the person who is there, he's every day making mistakes on top of the others. Once we jump from ghost schools, really? You jump from capitation, money lost. You go to health, scandals. You go to hustler fund, money lost. You go to housing levy. Now, like 10 things are not working. So which other hope do we have?
Before we go to now the political realignments in the country, because of time, you recently, you raised a concern about the government using fear tactics, such as the presence of Jubaland troops to influence elections. How do you see these elections impacting the political influence and even landscape ahead of 2027?
I'll give you two examples. The governor for Tana River, Dado, Godana Dado, he stood in a meeting where CS was, CS for Interior. I think that Kijukua something. And he said, CS, all the things you are telling us here, people are not interested. What people are interested with is that there are Somalis who came from Somalia and they were given a location by the government of Kenya, location with a chief. And people crapped. And he told the CS, you can hear people crapping. That is the whole issue. How can we get foreigners? It's there on social media. Coming here, they are given a chief and a location. That is a problem. When the CS stood up, he said, wewe governor ndio maana tunakushikaga. There's a day I think he had been arrested over security issues. Ndio maana tunakushikaga, tutakuita Nairobi. And that is it. Now, Mandela governor, the same story. He says, there are people coming here. Because what happens, let me tell you with those crowns, when those people come, it upsets the local political equation. So governors cannot agree. So the idea was, bring them, let them take IDs. Do you remember Raila Odinga's proposal that we use IDs for elections? Okay?
Sure.
And we are saying for us, we must use biometrics. So the idea was to try to see whether we can get people voting from Somalia, voting in Kenya. We know, and you see that is the whole issue of removing the issue of vetting for IDs. Then now there's a story of all the refugees in the camps to be made Kenyan citizens for the purpose of voting again. That is the whole idea. But I can tell you, it will not work. We are going to go to court. We'll stop all those things. We have a whole team, dedicated teams of about 30 lawyers. Their work is just to sense anywhere the constitution is being impeached. So that plan will not help. Governors will not accept other people to come and stay with them. I hear they want to put Somalia as a voting diaspora place. Okay? We will also go after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk now about the new realignments.
Yeah.
We saw yesterday the United Opposition bearers, you know, they met to realign and see how things can work ahead. Do you think that the now United Opposition, as of now, will manage to oust President Ruto and this team in 2027?
Me, I will tell you, Nixon, from arising from what I've told you, Kenyans are very, very disappointed, frustrated, they are tired, they are angry, they are hungry. Kenyans have come to an end. I will tell you this. All the way from Northeastern to Nyanza, to Rift Valley, to Coast, to Mount Kenya, Kisiland, Masai, the issue of one term, we are talking here about the gap. We are actually discussing here about how many millions of the gap are we going to get. It's not about if the president will go home. It's by how much bigger margin. Let me tell you, you cannot do nothing about votes. God gave everybody one right, universal suffrage. After every 5 years, you go to the debe. And I will tell you this. Let me tell you. 47% was about 3.5 million votes. We give Raila, Mount Kenya give Raila 1.5. That's about 5 million. So right now, 2027, Mount Kenya will have about 7 to 8 million. So let me tell you. Let me ask you a question. Take that. Take Ukamba votes, 3 to 4 million. Take half of Masai. Take half of take Kisii. Take half of Western. I'm just taking half to be frank. Take half of Mijikenda. Take half of Northeastern, or even a third. Take a third or 20% of Luo Nyanza. That is how Kenya, and by the way, this issue of tribalism will not work. Every day it's failing. Because it's not about North Kenya and Ruto. By the way, clear that. It's about the country and Ruto. This, you are going to see what happened during 2002. People are so tired with Moi. They just said, we cannot make a mistake. We have to be together. And people came together, not because they liked each other, because of circumstances. People no longer want one-man syndrome. They want all of them to sit down the way you are seeing in the photos. Then they agree, I'm not very good, you're not very good, but for the purpose of the circumstances, be the team leader. That's what's going to happen in 2027. History is going to repeat itself because of the bad leadership that we have seen. And it's so sad because, and one thing I've learned, that God will help us in future, even as I aspire for political leadership. Please, God help me to tame greed. Once you are elected as a leader, Nixon, you are the father. You cannot go chasing after milk and bread in the fridge at night. It's meant for children. Surely you rise above. Yeah, please, and allow other people to benefit. That is one thing that I've learned, which is very painful. But the problem is, you cannot change a grown-up. If somebody, that is his disposition, you cannot change prayers or anything. It's very difficult. You just need to tell them, okay, enough is enough. You have eaten enough. Time is good. So to answer your question, 100%, the opposition is going to hold. One time is a reality early in the morning on 10th of August.
And there are people who feel
yes,
that you guys are only singing one term every day.
Yes.
What is your agenda to the country?
Our agenda is one term.
Our agenda
is one term. Our agenda is one term, so we can reverse all the bad things that have been done, and there are so many. And I can repeat if you want. We are going. The first executive order is to revert to NHF. The first executive order. The first executive. Let me tell you.
And
let me tell you. The first executive order, Nixon. We have to revert to NHF, upgrade it. Leader Mama is gone. I have a case in Naivasha here, where somebody passed on after so many tests in Naivasha and KU referral. Okay, about a rider, he died. When he died, I hear Shah paid, the bill was 800,000. It paid 200,000. Let me ask you, Nixon. So when I insure with you, imagine now your car, God forbid, gets an accident. Now you go to insurance, they say this car, we are going. The cost, the worth of the vehicle is 2 million, but we'll give you 200,000. So where do the insurance expect you to get the rest? What was the purpose of insurance? So when somebody dies, and he is done with this earth, the bill is 800 at KU, referral mortuary. Sharp is 200. What in their mind did they think we are going to get the other 600,000? Then the governor promises to pay the money, to make calls. You know, they always say, let us make calls. They say, let us call the PS. My question is, now what about the people who don't have access to the governor or whatever? So SHA pays 200,000. We had to go and fundraise. So what is the purpose of the SHA? Is number one, is we are going to get it out. We are going to revert to a sensible method of higher education, a sensible method of education. We have to agree the way forward. We are going to say, we are not going to kill people. We are not going to kidnap people. We are not going to do all those kind of things. We are going to say, we must manage public debt. Borrowing money is not wrong, but we must know where it is going. We have to have some fiscal discipline, right? All those policies of leasing sugarcane or whatever to foreigners, there was no advertisement. It's just a personal deal with someone. We are going to revert all the bad things that we have taken, and we are going to commit no more issue of taking public land. We have to revert the land, by the way. So anybody who is being dipped at land for railways, 90 years lease, you're going to come back. But what is our agenda? Our agenda number one, we cannot do all those things without one term. We do one term, then we come and revert all the bad things we have done and move this country forward.
But there are still people who feel that you leaders are just the same. The policies you are saying right now, you're in opposition. It is the same thing that even the president said when he was in the other side. So why should we believe you that you are going to change in this country? Why should we trust you people for this leadership? Because we have seen the same thing. Kenyans have experienced this kind of leaders every day.
Nixon, let me, the question is good. Let me tell you something. My mind goes back to the Kibaki era. Let me tell you. Kibaki comes in. We are sure today that Kibaki was not a thief. People trusted that this guy will not go to Prada public property and take public land. People knew that Kibaki will not go and begin, he had the best interest of people at heart. There are some basic things that are lacking with this leadership. Let us not go to details. And that's why I'm in charge of planning for economic affairs. I'm the one who should be running around here in the studios with a whole paper saying that what we are going to do. I will not do that. Because people have seen that already. The rhetoric about stadiums, about anything. It was too much rhetoric in 2022. So right now, let me tell you what people want. People want, first of all, leadership they can trust. People want a government they can trust to pay taxes. KRA, for your information, fell short of 200 billion by June this year of taxes that they wanted, the revenue they wanted to target. Because people are not paying taxes. They don't feel motivated. People want a government, first of all, that don't do the things that are just too much, that killing people, abductions, things that actually was promised they will not do. So you're asking a very good question. Nixon, I'll take you back to one thing. Let us be very careful going forward on the quality of leaders we elect. Right from MCA to MP to governor, senator, the president. Personalities don't change. I think we need to be schooling. People need to be asking themselves, can we know the character of this person 20 years from now? And if you are not sure, you see some gaps, be very careful. Once they get power, they will repeat all the bad things that they used to do. So there's going to be change. I want to assure you that. The difference will be one. Right now, there was one man who wants to feel powerful, and then after all those things which are not working, Nixon, you put God in the mix. So you talk about God, destiny, God has sent me, like to show you, please don't joke with me because I have some connection with God more than you. You know the way you use religion again, to cause fear and saying, who knows, maybe I was the one who was sent to cause a transformation. But as you say that, 160 young men are dead. They are dead, shot by your own police. As you say that, corruption is all over you. So and I have been warning leaders, including myself, please, the issues of this world, don't mix God with them. Because if God decides to come and show that he was not part of you, you'll be shocked. Please stop. Do your worldly things, like a worldly person. But you cannot be on this side, and that's why people talk about spirit personality. There's a personality here of this piety guy, but behind the scenes, a very little person. So my point is, I can tell you, Nixon, I want Kenyans to rally around us. Something called official position. We are going to find formulas to do all these other things, whatever it is. And I can tell you we are committed to make sure we field one candidate. After that, the difference will be that it will be one person among equals. It will not be a one-man syndrome. The team will work together.
What about the Mount Kenya leaders who are with the president?
No, I'll tell you this, and I want to talk that about a bit being very conservative. I will tell you this. Anybody who is not with the people is done. Anybody who is not with the people is done.
It's over for him.
It's over completely. If you're not with the people, people have looked for alternatives. So there's no vacuum. Yeah, a lot of ground is ready. Actually, I can tell you today, we have people are vying for governors, women reps and all that, and we can be able to see what happened. Nixon was addressing these guys, is that we now think that the president knew he was not going to go very far with Rigathi Gachagua. But he wanted Rigathi because of elections, because he knew he was forceful. He could fit the narrative of Mount Kenya, the battle with the Uhuru Kenyatta then. So he wanted him, but he knew he's too forceful to become a deputy. So he said, let me hold on. You go win, help me to win. Then the issue of bringing back Kidiki was actually, it was hatched that day in Karen. It was a plan. Go, then this guy, because already he could see the personality. So the issue of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua started immediately after they were sworn in. He began laying traps for him. He began marking and trying to put MPs against him, slowly, in a certain way. Well, to his credit, Rigathi Gachagua said, even he was able to go talking about shareholding in a way that, shareholding itself is not bad, but in a way that will put him against other communities. So let me tell you, here we are. It was good that he showed his true colors so that Mount Kenya can organize themselves by having their own party and having their own leaders. But there's one thing I'm saying, please, in Mount Kenya we had two problems. The issue of the party, which we didn't have, but the problem of leaders. Why leaders? We have about 25 people, leaders, who stuck with Rigathi Gachagua. Meaning, if we had more good, better leaders, we would have stuck with Rigathi Gachagua. Actually, they would have gone to State House and tell the president, even if we have our own differences at home, it has not reached the issue of impeachment. But what happens, so this time we are telling people, be careful. We not only have a party, but we want good leaders in that party. Because something else can happen in 2027 after the elections, and there's another battle. And MPs are going to be bought. So please make sure you get people who have the capacity to help you, either as a senator or a women rep or an MP or MCA. But number two, people who understand the cause of the party and the regional interest, so that they cannot be bought. That's the difference now. I'm talking to you about what is happening now and what will happen there. From the top, we get a president who understands some basic manners, some basic political manners, somebody who understands governance. From there, we come down and get leaders who cannot be bought with 20 million as a senator. People who understand, who have capacity to help their people, because that's the other problem that we have, mainly in Mount Kenya. The issue of people with no capacity. You cannot get somebody who cannot talk in parliament. You cannot elect somebody who cannot articulate. Politics is about fighting for resources. You cannot fight when you are quiet. You are just there. You are being sent to go look for water when other people are talking serious stuff. Capacity is important, but number two, loyalty to the party and the region and the country. You must start your loyalty to the region, to your place that voted for you, to your county, to your region, then to the country, before you go to East Africa and the world.
Because of time, I want you to talk to the Nakuru residents. You recently declared your interest for the senatorial position. What do you have to offer for the people of Nakuru?
Thank you for that opportunity. Number one, the work of a senator is threefold. Very simple. Registration. I have, my record speaks for itself. What I did in the county assembly of Nakuru, I have the highest. I kept the record for the highest number of bills that I passed, motions, some motions, some I seconded, and some policies. So what I've been doing now, I've been listening to the people, the issues that I feel, because I know how to do it, that I'll bring for registration. I already have like 4. I already have 4 ideas that I already have. So that by the time I get in there, you just get them having. One of them, of course, is sharing of resources like Nakuru. There's a big problem there. Why is it that Naroko is managing Masai Mara, Kajiado is being given the Aboseri? We need to review that issue because of the management of that, and we need to make it a big issue there. There's the issue of CHPs, county health promoters. I had done a law when then they were called county health volunteers. Now we need a law so that those people are included in the mainstream of all the county governments. Those are the most important people. Those are things we need to do. And other areas I have noted about natural resources issue and these are the kind of things. But number two, the issues of oversight. having served in the both executive of Nakuru as a member of the Public Service Board under the Kennedy Abugwa and a member of the County Assembly, I know everything about oversight, how to do it. I know the gaps. So it will be very easy. But also oversight in the national government because I've been there. But most importantly, representation. Let me tell you, 15% of the money is what goes to the counties. 85 remains in Nairobi. So you need a senator who understands Nairobi. You cannot get a senator for the first time who knows that he will get to know Nairobi when they're elected. You must have somebody with capacity who knows how do I go, try to lobby for the 85%. The word is lobbying because we don't get, the senators don't get the money. Our work is to lobby for representation. Representation means if we need multi-billion water projects like dams for farming in Nakuru, tarmac, big one that will traverse sub-counties from this sub-county to the other and to the other. That's where the senator comes in. Senator has to have the capacity to link the county and the national. So I can tell you this, Nixon seated here. After working so hard to help this country, in Africa, in Asia, in America, doing all that work of investments, opening markets, trade, doing all this work, a time has come that I felt, Nixon, even if today you told me there's a vehicle here with a flag for any other appointment in government, I don't want. Because you work so hard, people don't appreciate you, they begin moving you from one ministry to another. You're wasting your time. So I have decided I want to give my best shot to my county through representation. I want to make sure the issues of Nakuru are given a lot of limelight and they are seen. Nakuru has to be seen and heard and represented properly at the national level and internationally. One promise I can give you, we are seated here, 6 months after I'm elected, Nakuru will be the leading county in terms of processes, systems, representation, registration. It has to shine because we are here to give back to community. So I'm just asking our people of Nakuru, me, I don't want sympathy. I don't want sympathy to be elected because I'm a NEC member of DCP. I want people to elect by the one they know. Funga macho, people come the last 3 months, they are given tickets. Me, I want first of all for people to know why they need a change and why they need to elect Mbae. That way, you can have a reason to vote so that you can keep me accountable to the words I'm saying today. I'm going to engage Nakuru people in a big way.
All the best.
Asante.
And thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Looking forward to have you once again.
We will come.
In other conversations.
We'll come back for other conversation. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Okay.
That is where we conclude our conversation together with Dr. Peter Mbae. He is the leadership and governance expert, as well as the former, head of government delivery service. That is where we conclude our conversation today. See you in the next interview. I've been your host, Nixon Njau.